Groups are not teams. Teams start with human connections. Construct teams. Constructing team, you keep the slogan that I to we, from I to we must be the slogan, driving slogan for any organization. The belief that teams make us more creative and productive and are the best way to get things done is deeply entrenched now. But Hackman, a professor of organizational psychology at Harvard and a leading expert, points over the past couple of decades, the cult has grown up around the building up the teams. Even in a society as faced by independent as America, teams are considered almost sacrosanct. They also have realized the building of a team, which is very essential for the progress of an organization. The belief that the working in teams makes us more creative and productive is so widespread that when faced with challenging new tasks, leaders are quick to assume that teams are the best way to get the job done. This is been continued from a long time. This theory of building a team is almost considered very important for any organization. Not so fast. Hackman, the Edgar Pierce, professor of sociological and organizational psychology at Harvard University, and a leading expert on teams, they say most of the time their research shows team members do not even agree on what the team is supposed to be doing. Getting agreement in the leader job, and he must be willing to take great personal and professional risks to set the team's direction. Setting the team direction is almost 75% of the work which has to be done by any leader up to the level of a chief executive officer. And if the leader is not disciplined about managing who is on the team and how it is set up, the odds are slim and a team will do a good job. What follows an edited version of that conversation? Let us begin the leading teams with a pop quiz when people work together to build a house. Will the job probably get done faster, take longer to finish? No, not at all. A team with a proper direction can productively work in a very efficient way to an organization in achieving its objectives. The multiple choice, if it is left to any able manager, he will prefer definitely a good team, a rightfully constructed, well constructed team, well oriented team in achieving success in any organization. Even when you have a strong and cohesive team, it is often in competition with other teams, and that dynamic can also get the way of real progress. So you have two strikes against you right from the start, which is one reason why having a team is often worse than having no team at all. This is one of the argument which is propounded one particular branch of thinkers. There is no question that a team can generate magic, but don't count on it. We cannot totally depend on that word that a team cannot generate, but definitely it is a productive one. As you have said, that for a team to be successful, it needs to be real. It needs to be real. The team must be real. What does it mean that real means? At the very least, it means that teams have to be bounded. I repeat, teams have to be bounded. It may seem silly to say this, but if you are going to lead a team, you ought to first make sure that you know who is on it. In our recent literature on this subject, you can read quite a lot because team construction, leading a team, and giving a direction to the team, analyzing the team members, and analyzing the people, what is required for them in the process of training, in the process of induction. All these things will come into picture while leading a team. Often, senior management is responsible for the fuzziness of team boundaries. Fearful of seeming exclusively, or on the other hand, end of the spectrum, determined to put people on the team for purely political reasons, the chief executive frequently creates a dysfunctional team. I repeat this word. The chief executive frequently creates a dysfunctional team. In truth, putting together a team involves some ruthless decisions about membership. Not everyone who wants to be on the team should be included, and some individuals should be forced off. Everyone cannot contribute as a team member. Some people are so highly individualistic, they may prefer to contribute individually. But for a chief executive officer, any top manager, he requires a team. Then he must take a ruthless, forceful action, eliminate the people who cannot work as a team. So that fellow, even though he is a member of the group, that he is not a member of the team. The difference can be easily gauged by the CEO or top management by engaging these people, by putting in the team, observing them, monitoring them, and when the management feel they are not working progressively as a team, he must be eliminated. That ruthlessness is very essential. The team needs compelling direction. How does it happen? Definitely it requires a direction by the team leader. There is no one right way to set a direction. The responsibility can fall on the team leader or to someone in the organization outside the team or even to the team itself. In the case of partnerships or boards of directors, but however it is done, setting a direction is emotionally demanding because it is always involves the exercise of authority. I repeat this sentence. This is a very pivotal sentence and valuable sentences. Setting a direction is emotionally demanding because it always involves the exercise of authority, and that inevitably arouses amongst an ambivalence for both the person exercising it and the people on the receiving end. If it is not properly done, the result will be ambivalent. So it has to be done very carefully and properly. Leaders who are emotionally mature are willing and able to move toward anxiety inspiring situations as they establish a clear challenging team direction. But in doing so, a leader sometimes encounters resistance so intense that it can place his or her job at risk. This is very, very important because at times a team leader, by setting and directing the team in a proper way, he may get such a very powerful resistance which may result in the losing of his job. But it is inevitable on the part of a leader or a CEO setting a direction to the team, whatever may be the cost or benefit he is personally getting or not. People generally think that teams that work together harmoniously are better and more productive than teams that do not. But in a study conducted on symphonies, actually found that grumpy orchestras played together slightly better than orchestras in which all the musicians were really quite happy. But this generalization or this example cannot be taken totally into consideration in managing an organization because a system, an organization, a system has to run an organization. When you want to place a system for a direction in leading the team, and definitely there must be harmony. That is where the team harmony plays a better role in giving the progressive results. A fallacy that is bigger in teams better than small ones because they have more resources to draw upon. So, when a bigger team is there, resources and leaders and intelligent people will be more available in the team and they can lead very well. So, newness is a liability. Suppose you bring a new person into the team, so it's a liability because it is not efficient from financial perspective. Financially, you get the most from your capital equipment and labor by treating which each airplane, but ultimately the pilot is very important. The pilot gives the direction, he receives the direction and reaching the destination. That is what in an organization, taking the organization to reach a very, very able destination fixed by the top management. Perhaps the most common misperception about the teams, though, is that at some point team members become so comfortable and familiar with one another and they start accepting one another's attitudes, and as a result performance falls off. Except for one special type of team, I have not been able to find a shred of evidence to support this premise. It is the premise which is proposed is not correct because there is a there is a study that shows that R&D teams do need an influx of new talent into maintain creativity and freshness, but only at the rate of one person every 3 to 4 years. The problem almost always is not that a team gets stale, but rather that it does not have the chance to settle in. First of all, allowing the team to settle into a particular objective and a methodology of working, that is very important. So induction of any new people, definitely it is required, but it must be done carefully and phase wise. Suddenly you bring 50% of the people, new people into the team, definitely the cohesion and harmony cannot be maintained so easily. That will result in the falling of the progress or the productivity of the organization. So, newness is a liability at times, but the newness has to be inducted and it has to be managed well by the top management and specifically giving them training and attitudes, developing them to become a strong team member and contribute to the organization. Then let us see what makes a team effective and how can a team leader make it perform better. A good team will satisfy its internal or external clients, become stronger as a unit as time passes, and foster the living, learning, and growth of its individual members. But even the best leader on the planet cannot make team do well beyond certain limit. Anyone can do is increase the likelihood that a team will be great by putting into place conditions. In several conditions, the building of a team it works, and that conditions which are not amicable, that conditions have to be eliminated cohesively by the top management with all observation, monitoring, and mentoring the people in the team if they are not able to sail along with the team members of the people. So ultimately, we can say that the tyranny of structure, the tyranny of structurelessness is normally a result of anarchy. That is a result of not having a good team, strong teams with strong objectives and good harmony. Global teams, why they are working in such a fascinating way in the modern world is because their teams are very much harmonious and understanding. That is why in very major multinational organizations, the teams are well built and their organization in the entire global scenario is very well. Their working pattern is that to succeed the global economy today, any organization to succeed in the global economy today, the crucial success depends upon formulating very effective teams and structure the perception of the power. When you are building a team, the structure, the perception of the power you are inducting into the brains of the team, that will work well and it will contribute very well to the organization. Here, the point of getting feedback on routine interactions and exclusive sessions from by the mentors and top brass is very, very essential to manage this team and to manage the team in a stable way for a long time. because at times some members in the team may become stale, then automatically the learning and development has to pick up the people and train them or induct into the modern concepts and make them to again generative and highly productive members of the team. So leaders should encourage disagreement also, both about the team's tasks and about the process by which the tasks get done. There must be a healthy debate. There must be a healthy discussion. If the team leader thinks in a monarchic way, or if he thinks that tyranny will work better in the team, which is a wrong concept, that he cannot interact with the people in a wholehearted manner and grasp what is exactly in the minds of his team members about the organizational process, about the organizational methodology in developing it. So, the language or the feelings of the team members has to be properly understood by the team leader. Dominance. If team leader exhibits at every point of time that he is dominance, he wants to exhibit his dominance because he is a leader of the team, that gives a negative impact on the team and the team cannot be engaged properly and the team cannot be successful. Finally, to summarize that this discussion, we can say any organization must ensure that team member recognizes the urgency of the objective, the methodology of implementing the objective, the productive method of getting the result has to be inculcated through learning and development. Team members will follow the leader's example in using communication technology. If the leader has developed himself a proper technical communication or other communication systems in a very harmonious way, definitely the other team members will follow. The first of all, leader has to develop himself as a real leader to lead the team. Leading by example. Team members very quickly pick up on the leader's personal preferences regarding communication technology. A leader who wants to encourage people to video conference should communicate this way himself. If he wants employees to pick up the phone and speak to the another, he should be better have a frequent user of the phone. And if he wants team members to respond quickly to emails and needs to set the example. If the team leader takes so much of time in responding, the team members also will follow the same type of laziness and the same type of attitude in response. If he sets himself as an example, if he works an example, team leader, he can develop beautiful communication system. Flexibility and appreciation for diversity are at the heart of managing a team. I read this sentence again. Flexibility and appreciation for diversity are at the heart of managing a team. Leaders must expect problems and patterns to change or repeat themselves as teams shift, disband, and regroup. But there is at least one constant thing to manage social distance effectively and maximize the talents and engagement of team members. Maximizing the talents and engagement of team members. Leaders must stay attentive. I repeat, leaders must stay attentive to all five of the dimensions. Decisions about structure create opportunities for good process which can mitigate the difficulties caused by the differences and identity issues in the team. The difference of opinion, the difference of perspective, the crave for identity, they are the major problems in constructing a good team, good and effective team. That has to be taken care of by the leader of the men. Finally, if leaders act on these fronts, while marshalling technology to improve communication among geographically dispersed colleagues, social distance is sure to shrink, not expand. When that happens, teams can become truly representative of the global village. That is the culture and the culture of the organization, not just because of their international makeup, but also because of the members feel mutual trust and a sense of kinship. I repeat these two words again and again. Mutual trust The team must feel mutual trust and a sense of kinship. This will lead this will lead the organization to the commanding heights of the production and make the organization success. So finally, I say building of the team. First of all, we must learn groups are not teams. Teams are different in their behavior, in their attitude, and in their methodology to achieving an objective and or a production target. So, building of a team, managing of the team, gauging the impressions of the team, the opinions of the team, or the conflicts in the team is the duty of the leader, and to a major extent, with the assistance of learning and development, they have to be channelized. Their energies have to be harmonized in achieving a particular objective. This will, through these steps, definitely a leader can create a beautiful team, an apt, eminent, and effective team in the interest of the organization. Thank you very much.